It's Bacon here, welcome back to another episode of my Cafe Racer build. Today I'm going to be changing suspension, giving the bike a good hose down and test fitting a new engine cover for the one that doesn't exist at the moment. We're also going to be having a little look at the fuel tank just to see how that's looking on the inside. Hopefully we won't have any nasty surprises and we can crack on with everything today. Alright, so that's the bike all cleaned up. It's looking a lot better now. Far fewer cobwebs on it, and a lot of the mud out of all the grills on the engine and the gearbox. The electrics, if they weren't already completely ruined, they definitely are now, but I'm going to have to get a whole new loom for them anyway, so it doesn't make a big difference. Onto the engine cover and hopefully get the suspension done if it arrives on time. That was a very rough test fit. I'm not sure if you guys could see, but on the far right hand side, the engine cover wasn't quite getting all the way on. And I think that was because of this spring here, which was just stopping it from going completely on. But I reckon if I get all the bolts in, tighten it up properly, and with the gasket sealant, it should actually go on nicely. Which means I now need to take the engine cover somewhere I can actually get some new bolts for it so that I can actually get it on the bike. So the suspension's just arrived. I'm going to start with the test fit on that before I do all the setup on it. Also think I'm going to have to go out and buy some new hardware actually to get it on the bike, because it didn't come with any when I expected it to, which is a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Hopefully I'll be able to find the right bolts. Okay then, so this is what came with the bike, and this is what we're putting on. Obviously a huge difference, looks about 100 times nicer. Pretty excited. Okay, so these replacement bolts are actually a tiny bit too short. So I'm hoping that now that I've tightened this end of the suspension up with the original bolt, it's been squeezed in enough and compressed enough that these new bolts will actually fit it. So I'm going to take this bolt back out and try this one. Alright, that's actually worked. So I'm going to move on and do the same thing with the other bolt. Won't bother filming that because you can't see anything, but I think this has actually worked out quite nicely. Alright, so I'm going to get started with the shock setup. I just need to increase the sag on it a little bit. I'm going to go in the shock adjuster, loosen it up a tad, and then hopefully that will give me the right amount of sag. I can only make it one notch looser on the spring, so hopefully that will be enough for me. Otherwise I'll just have to make do, I guess. So that little twist is all it is really. I'm going to go around the other side and do it again, and hopefully once I sit on the bike now it'll actually have the right amount of sag. Alright, so that looked like it was about the right amount. Basically what I was looking for was a 20 to 30% compression in the piston, so that when I'm driving along and I'm in bump, the piston can compress. Then once I'm out of the bump and it's releasing, it needs that little bit of extra playroom. So the suspension's finally on the bike, completely finished up, and I have to say, it's looking tight as cheese. I absolutely love it, very excited. Looks so much nicer than the stock steel shocks or aluminium, whichever they were. The black is going to work pretty nicely, especially with this black rear wheel. I think it looks really good. So very excited. Moving on to the tank. Turns out opening the tank is incredibly easy. Just need a flathead screwdriver. That doesn't actually look too bad. obviously little spots of rust in there, but not too much of it. So that is the end of the video. Thanks very much for watching. I feel like we've done a lot today and made a lot of good progress. So really pleased with some of that, especially the suspension, and big relief that the tank does not need replacing or resealing or anything like that. So if you've enjoyed, like and subscribe, and as always, love you.